Welcome to Impact by DIFFA Dallas, the official podcast of the Dallas chapter of the Design Industries Foundation Fighting AIDS. We'll share valuable info about the fight against HIV and AIDS, what our organization is doing to assist those in our community, and most importantly, how you can help us make a real impact.
Welcome to our next edition of Impact. We are really happy to bring you this special edition related to COVID-19. I'm happy to be joined today by my co-host, Victoria Snee. Today, we're going to be sharing information about COVID-19, its impact on DIFFA, on the community, and our AIDS service organization. So Victoria, welcome.
Hey, Tim, how are you? How are you hanging?
I'm doing all right. It's an interesting time that we're in.
It sure is. I mean, just the fact that we're doing the show, remotely like this, which, kind of feels, I don't want to say the new normal because I really don't want to accept anything like that, but I'm becoming more used to this with communicating with people. Yeah,
this has been, week 5 or 6 of doing a lot of video conferences and talking through my computer to people. And so you're right, it is becoming normal, but I'm hoping it's not normal for much longer.
Yes, I think everyone in the world agrees.
Yeah. So, this COVID-19 is impacting us all. We released information recently that we are having to postpone House of DIFFA, which was a really tough decision. As a board, we considered a lot of different things, and it was probably one of the hardest decisions that we've had to make for as long as I've been on the board. We're still working, of course, with hotels and groups to figure out when that new date's going to be, and of course, we'll push that out as soon as we know details. But I'm really happy to share that in its place, we're going to be hosting a new show called Impact Live, and that's going to be coming up May 5th at 7 p.m., where we're going to have some live entertainment. We're going to be doing a silent auction. People are going to be able to see some jackets that we would have had in the show. So it's going to be a really, really cool event. So I encourage all of you guys to check that out. It's a great opportunity for us to continue to fundraise and give money back out to the community.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important because we don't want to lose that connection that we have with our community. And that's so important for us to, even if we can't have a huge event, becoming creative and thinking outside the box and thinking, how can we still, relate to our community and our supporters and raise funds? Anything that we could do at this time is so critical. So I think it's great. I mean, we've had several board members, Mohammed and Reed and Tristan and Shane, and they've really been working hard to put something together to help still stay connected with our community and raise these funds. So I'm really, really excited about it. And, the way it will be successful is just having people tune in and watch and hopefully bid. So, really counting on our supporters to help during that time.
Absolutely. And seeing some of the stuff that they've put together, they have put a ton of work into getting this ready. And I'm excited. I'm excited as even just a viewer and a patron to take part in it. And so it's going to be exciting. Definitely tune in and participate. But beyond this, this COVID-19 isn't just impacting, DIFFA. It's impacting our entire community and how we operate and businesses and small businesses. So Victoria, why don't you talk a little bit around what does it mean? What is it doing for small businesses and the community?
It's staggering. It's staggering what we're seeing. I was talking with my mom as I stood outside Central Market about a week ago with a mask on and gloves and in a line for 45 minutes to get into Central Market. Wow. And I just said to my mom, I said, if you had told me a month ago that I would be in line outside Central Market for 45 minutes with a mask on, I really don't think I would have believed you. I mean, it is staggering how much things have changed and so quickly.
Yeah.
I think for me, you know, I noticed it first, certainly with the restaurants, in the restaurant industry, who, you know, everyone has been impacted in such a significant way. But restaurants, I guess, were for me the first kind of business that it was unbelievable how affected they were, and so quickly.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of, you know, small restaurants or bars. I mean, you know, they don't have huge amounts of capital behind them to keep them running for months closed. It's nearly impossible. So
Right.
they were hit so hard so quickly. And, you know, with the fact that they had to really change their entire business model. I mean, you're seeing restaurants that don't do a huge takeout business now having to do everything takeout.
Yeah.
And quickly. I mean, they had like 24 hours notice that this, you know, this was going to be the way it was. And so that was just staggering to see. And the ripple effect of that with the workers and, you know, the dishwashers to the hostess to the manager. I mean, all levels of income affected so quickly by that. And, you know, I mean, we know with restaurants, they're not making the majority of their money off food sales. It's off of alcohol sales. So
Sure.
for them not to be able to have people dining in and, you know, you can take out, you know, drinks, but it was, I mean, not even remotely enough to keep a lot of these businesses afloat. So I think, you know, they had to quickly adjust. They had to change their business model. They had to put it into effect with less people, because they had to lay people off immediately. And so I mean, it was unbelievable to kind of watch. And, you know, a lot of them, I will say there have been incredible support from people who have said, I love this restaurant. I'm going to support this restaurant. I'll buy gift cards now, or I'll be ordering food from them. I mean, the support has been amazing. You know, we'll see how much, if it was enough with some of these restaurants, but I mean, you can expect to see a lot of closures as we, you know, kind of come out of this, and as our people are slowly able to come back to work. But, you know, I mean, the retail industry, it's mind-boggling what's happening. And I worry the most, you know, about a lot of small business owners who have stores that maybe it's their only location. You know, how that affects them. And I mean, their team members are their family. I mean, it's like family members that they're having to furlough or lay off. And so the, you know, retail it's staggering. And, you know, the stores that have been able to stay open, like the grocery stores, I mean, even those employees, they've been so just tapped out with how they're having to keep up with the demand. And, you know, the whole toilet paper thing was so crazy. And I mean, people's responses were just nuts. But, you know, they're having to hire all of these people now to work. And I wonder, when things start to kind of stabilize a little bit, what's going to happen to all of those people that took jobs, having either the demand won't be there that the grocery stores are seeing right now. So there's just so much to think about as we kind of go through this. But, you know, seeing, you know, the food bank lines with thousands of people staying in their cars overnight, and the food bank saying, we never saw these people. These are new people. These are not our regular people that we serve. So it just shows you what a huge effect this is having, you know, really across the board, around the world.
You know, and I have been impressed with how especially restaurants have pivoted so fast to try to stay alive, you know. And I look at a lot of restaurants, you know, like Commissary and others that have, you know, shifted to delivery. And, you know, even Commissary has now started delivering produce boxes, right? And fresh meat boxes. So they can almost be like a mini grocery store, which is cool. And it's a different model, you know, and to your point, you know, there's definitely labor that has shifted. You know, I'm excited to see the fact that Amazon is hiring a ton of people, and, grocery stores are hiring a ton of people, but then what happens when all of this adjusts and shifts back? What do you think, Victoria, that people can do, right? We want to keep our small businesses alive. It was just reported that the small business, protection program, the stimulus money kind of ran out. What can we do as a community to help our small businesses?
Well, I think, really just staying in touch and continuing to communicate. And, I think with a lot of the small businesses, one thing that I've seen is I think everyone in this situation has become you have to become very, very creative. You have to think of, okay, how can I still reach this customer base that's so important to me during this really difficult time? So I've seen, small shop owners doing FaceTime closet cleanouts, virtual styling sessions. They're able to talk to clients and still bring clothes to their home contactless, home deliveries. So I think if you do have certain businesses that you absolutely love and you want to make sure that they're still around after we get out of this, you just have to keep supporting them and know that they're still there for you, because and to keep it that way, keep those lines of communication. I mean, even for me in marketing, marketing for a lot of companies is the first thing that they want to cut. Okay, let's cut the marketing. We don't need it anymore. We're closed. Well, to me, that makes no sense, because the most important thing, especially at a time like this, when people are feeling so isolated and so alone and so disconnected, you want that communication. You want to hear from those familiar names and those familiar faces that have meant so much to you over this time. So to me, I think communication at this point is vital. It's vital for the business owners to continue to communicate with their customers. Those customers, if you truly care about a certain business, please keep those lines of communication open, whether you can support them financially, or if you can't and you're not in a position, use your social media to help these. Maybe you can't buy dinner there tonight, but I bet you have some friends that can. So if you can't do it, at least still support them by putting it on your social media to support these businesses. So I think that there's certainly ways that we can continue to do our part.
Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing retailers, especially clothing stores, you're right, those mom and pops I think are having a hard time. And I've seen some of them post on social, they've pivoted to making masks.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's fantastic. And I saw something where in Dallas it might be required, I think starting today, which is the 17th of April, that facial coverings might be required.
Yes.
And who knows how long that's going to last. And so, buying masks from, your favorite retailers, from your favorite clothing stores, from those mom and pop stores, that'll at least help them stay afloat for a little bit. Right?
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. In Dallas County now, you have to wear some sort of a face covering or mask whenever you go into an essential business. Mm-hmm. But now, I think people are just wearing them all the time anyway when they leave the house, just because it's certainly a safe thing to do and protects those around you. But you're absolutely right. Looking for those opportunities. In fact, I saw there's a lady named Kathy Fielder who's local. I saw a friend of mine post on her Facebook that Kathy Fielder is selling masks. Mm-hmm. And I immediately went and ordered it. So you can help each other, through the way you communicate. And so I probably wouldn't have known she was selling the masks if I hadn't seen it on Facebook from a friend. So even little things like that you can do, just again, it's that communication and it's still staying involved. And I know that's hard. I think we're probably all suffering from, a hint of depression these days. Right. I think that's totally normal. If I call someone and say, how are you doing? They're like, great. I'm like, what is wrong with you? But I think that if you can continue to communicate, I think that's just so important for a number of reasons.
Yeah. And, DIFFA is here to support AIDS service organizations and the HIV and AIDS community. And, COVID-19 is having a ripple effect, not just with businesses and retailers, but also, the community that we are there to support. So many of our aid service organizations do their fundraisers during this springtime.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not able to do them, right? They're not able to go out and raise the money that help them support programs throughout the entire year. And the hard part about that is the need doesn't go away, right? They still need to support the people that they have been supporting.
Right.
So the need still exists. And I think this is one of the hardest things that we have to address from a DIFFA perspective is how do we continue to support our aid service organizations? How do we continue to give out grants, especially in a time like this where they have less money than they did before? The need is still there, and especially to a community that knows what it's like to go through a crisis like this. There hasn't been a whole lot of research around what is the potential impact of COVID-19 on those affected by HIV and AIDS, right? There has been some around the increased impact on those people that have a decreased CD4 count. But I think some of the things that we need to think about is some of our ASOs that provide access to medication, that provide transportation for care. People are hesitant to get out into the community to go and get their medication, to go and see someone, to go and talk to somebody. And those are things that we need to think about, right? Those are things that we need to continue to support because, the problem still exists.
It won't go away.
Yeah, the problem doesn't go away, right? And we are still, as DIFFA Dallas, we are still doing everything we can to raise money, right? We are definitely going to give out grants this year. It is, part of who we are. It's part of us giving back to the community. And our ASOs, need it, right? The needs of our ASOs, of our aid service organizations, may have changed over time. They may be changing right now. People might not be coming in for HIV tests, but there are still needs. There's still needs for counseling, right? There might be an increase in people that need to call in because, they might be having some thoughts that they didn't have before.
Right.
And this is the time that we have to support our community. I think we've got to come together.
So Tim, I know you have been in constant contact with a lot of the ASOs that DIFFA Dallas supports. What are you hearing as to the biggest needs right now? And what do you think our community, other than, of course, obviously money at all times will certainly help, but is there anything else that people can be doing at this time that we can really help these ASOs?
Obviously money is always helpful.
Yes.
But several of our ASOs take donations of clothing and food, right? So many of our ASOs provide food programs and nutrition. That is a major factor in health of people affected by HIV and AIDS. And with the situation that we're in right now, food donations are down. It's understandable. People don't want to go out and give food. And so the ability to give food donations to different food pantries and aid service organizations is critical. Different donations to other types of pantries, non-perishables, right? Paper towels, sanitation wipes, like little things like that we've been hoarding.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the types of things that our aid service organizations need, right? Some of our aid service organizations that provide health services, they need those types of products. And so, yes, they absolutely they need help with some of those donations. They need help with clothing still, right? We still have people that are homeless that need clothing, that need that type of support. Obviously, time isn't something that is really needed right now. We don't need a whole lot of volunteers going out there and providing time to ASOs at this point. But food, money, those types of donations where they're non-perishables, those are things that are needed at any time, especially in this time of crisis. One of the things that we are happy to do at DIFFA is we can be a broker of providing the right things to the right ASOs, right? So if people want to give, but they don't know which ASOs to give to, that's the great thing about DIFFA is we are in contact with all of the ASOs that are requesting money or that need help. And so people can give directly to DIFFA. They can give directly through our webpage, difffadallas.org. They can give through our silent auction. They can actually get something through our silent auction, and that gives money directly to us. They can participate in Impact Live, which is our session coming up on May 5th. And all of that provides us funds that we can then distribute to the ASOs based upon the needs that they have. And, in fact, right now, we are in the process of board members working with every single one of our ASOs to figure out what are their current and highest needs that they have. Because we want to solve those for them. We want to help them. We want to be a partner with them. And we want to help solution for them so that way we can make the biggest impact in the community. And we're doing that so that way in the next few weeks, we can grant out and we can figure out how much money we can give out during our grant process. So if you don't know which ASO to give to, people can certainly facilitate that giving through DIFFA and we'll make it work for them.
I think that's so great. And it's an easy thing to do. And, that's what DIFFA is about. I mean, like you said, Tim, we're here to help facilitate and to make that connection, to make those, those calls and figure out what we can do to help. I even think about just even things that you can do, again, back with, keeping that communication going. One thing that some of my girlfriends and I have been doing is just sending each other little cards.
Yeah.
It seems very simplistic, but how easy just to maybe jot a note in the mail and send it to an ASO and just say, we're praying for you. Please know you're not alone. I think that's so important. And I think it's, whether you do that with your family or your friends or an ASO, I think taking a minute just to jot down a note, that can make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Those little things, it's the little things that matter. And absolutely. You're right. We are all in this together. This is impacting every single one of us. So showing those little things of care, you're right. It touches me. It touches me and it touches everybody.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in today to this special edition of Impact, special edition for COVID-19. Don't forget to tune in to Impact Live coming up on May 5th. It's going to be at 7 p.m. You can find out more information on our website at difffadallas.org. We definitely hope to see you there.